they're still trying to put a finger on what this mystery is. Matter of fact, humanoid, three-fingered alien mummies was discovered in Peru last year, and they have straight fingerprints that do not match those of humans, according to an attorney who reviewed one of the controversial specimens. Joshua McDowell, a former Colorado prosecutor and current defense attorney, examined one of the tiny, strange bodies named Maria with three independent forensic medical examiners from the United States. He and the experts were shocked to discover that the fingerprints on these ET-like corpses were in perfectly straight lines. These were not traditional human fingerprint patterns, according to attorney Joshua McDowell. We did not see any loops or whorls on the fingerprints of these fingers or on the toes. Now, I'm a former prosecutor. I'm a criminal defense attorney. I've seen lots of fingerprints, and these were not classic fingerprints. He said, I don't know what these are. More than half a dozen of the so-called alien mummies were revealed by a controversial Mexican journalist and a UFO enthusiast, Jose Masan. McDowell and the U.S. medical examiners traveled with Masan to Peru to study these bodies. While the lack of human fingerprints is puzzling, he said it would be extremely premature to make any statements about these mummies' origins. One possible explanation for the unusually straight fingerprints could possibly have something to do with the way the skin was preserved, he said, noting that it was very odd. Maria's body is covered in some type of diatomaceous earth, a type of white powder made from a sediment of fossilized algae found in bodies of water in Peru. However, on the fingers that were exposed, the ridges I saw appear to be in mostly straight lines. While no official determination has been made regarding the nature of these humanoid-looking bodies, they're small, with three fingers on each hand, and McDowell said that the former deputy district attorney from Colorado's 4th Judicial District took a city coroner from Denver and a forensic anthropologist from Maryland State Medical Examiner's Office to South America to Peru to also investigate. He also brought his father, Dr. John McDowell, a forensic odontologist, I'm sorry I didn't pronounce that right, and retired professor at the University of Colorado, who assisted in identifying human remains after the 9/11 attack at the World Trade Center. Okay? So these are not, these are professionals. This was a 4-foot-tall alien, what they call the Nazca mummies, after the region in Peru where they were discovered. And it's crazy. Now, that area is known for elongated heads and other types of strange discoveries. I know L.A. Marzulli's been there a lot. And but these three-fingered hands on these are quite extraordinary. Now, I have a picture of it actually on my thumbnail, and so when you clicked on this video, you saw the actual picture of the thumbnail. Here's what I want to do. I'd like to let you hear what Mike Around the World had to say, because when I found this article today, I said to myself, "You got to be kidding me! You just got to be kidding me." This article just came out 2 hours ago, and our webinar is 8 days from now, even though this discovery of these 4-foot-tall, three-fingered, without fingerprints, mummies alien-looking mummies. And they're not the little dolls like you heard about that were found in Mexico that was only about that big. No, these are 4 foot tall. You've seen the picture. I want you to hear what Mike had to say. This is from the webinar that's coming up. I'm giving you a little preview of the webinar. This is just 4 minutes of Mike from the World. He talks about a range of discoveries and information on aliens among us. But I'm going to play this because this may be kind of a match or something very similar to this is what Mike talked about in the webinar. So let's go down. This is for the upcoming webinar that's coming up in 8 days. Get your tickets for it. It's called Aliens Among Us. Here's 4 minutes of Mike's 1 hour and 13-minute presentation as he talks about the ant people.
Happens to this day. Whenever they do these digs in archaeology, whenever they find people who have been isolated, do you not know that it's almost like a mandate that the U.S. government will send people to attempt to find if they know anything about these grays, about insectoids, about all these various species. That's a priority. Don't you find that odd?
I find that real odd. I mean, so they want to talk to these. They went to see these 7 tribes they found that had never had contact really with civilization or what we call civilization.
No, they knew nothing about it, and they wanted to know if they knew what a gray was. Well, when they showed them the picture of the gray, it's described as though they recognized that picture like they would recognize an animal.
Wow.
It's just like they would, and you know what they called them?
No.
The ant people. So this happened in South America. So in South America, they're calling these people the ant people. There were 2 tribes near, in Russia, the same thing happened, ant people. And why are all these isolated, untouched, uncontacted tribes referring to grays as the ant people? Let me tell you what they also said. They also said that they live underneath the ground. They also said that they've been involved in their history since the beginning.
Wow.
So they established that they're from the subterranean cities that these people up top can never go to. And another question is asked, do they ever see them? And they said yes all the time, but they will not interfere with them.
So the grays are these tribes recognize the pictures of the grays, call them ant people, and say, yeah, they live underground, and yes, we still have interaction with them all the time. So the grays are...
They let them do what they want. They will. These tribes, they're not terrified of them, right? But they have a high regard for them. They don't worship them either. See, that was the thing. They don't worship them. They don't make them deities or anything.
Yeah.
But they know of their existence, and they refer to them as the ant people are more like animals than anything else. They recognize them just like they would a dog or a snake or something like that, right? So just like an animal, except they said they never get in their way, right? These ant people will often come and approach their people at night.